All right, everyone. So here we are with Fullaire, about to run Super Mario Sunshine any percent, I believe, on the Wii Virtual Console.
Yes, so it's just on the Wii that we can play GameCube games, so that's how that works.
Awesome. The Wii. Exactly. And so you're going to do any percent today?
Yes.
So want to give us a quick rundown of what the run's all about for those who aren't familiar with Super Mario Sunshine?
So any percent is essentially beating the game as fast as possible, and to do that you have to defeat Shadow Mario in every single world, which is just beating episode 7. So we end up gathering 44 of the 120 shines and then beating Bowser.
Awesome. All right, well, we're ready on your mark. We'll give us a countdown. We'll start the timer.
All right, so 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so Super Mario Sunshine has some pretty fantastic cutscenes in the very beginning. Makes for great backstory and everything.
So basically, for those of you guys who don't know, like the actual story of what's happening right now, Mario and friends are on vacation, and they are landing on this airstrip, and there's some mysterious goop. So it's Mario's job, for some reason, to go and figure out what's happening. So right now she's just going to do some basic movement over to Flood, the flash liquid ultraviolet device, and we'll watch another cutscene. So that's also fun.
So every single time anyone wants to start a new run, they have to rewatch this, relearn how to use Flood, and it becomes very tedious. So you just gotta hang through there for the first 5 minutes, and then it's pretty much all gameplay after that.
It's some good cutscenes, though. Some good quotes. It's also a good time to like go to the bathroom, whatever you gotta do.
Grab the snacks. But like Fullaire said earlier, any percent like in Sunshine is a lot different from basically any other 3D Mario platformer. Like Super Mario 64, you just have to get the quickest 70 stars. Galaxy, same thing. But for Sunshine, it's just getting to episode 7 and collecting the Shadow Mario shine. So and that's why we were getting so many less shines. We're only getting 44 because it's basically just trying to basically skip as many stages or levels as we can just to get to episode 7 in each stage. So there's going to be some strats that we'll see later on that just shows off that we can definitely skip quite a few shines to get to the episode 7 scene if we can. But this is the Fullaire plant, which just has different mechanics as the rest of the ones in the game. This one you can just spray whenever and it won't do anything until it opens its mouth. From now on, if you spray the Fullaire plant too early, it'll just not, it'll like kind of shake around and it'll waste a little bit of time, but it's the introduction, so it's pretty easy shine. Whenever you ground pound under a shine or above a shine, you'll kind of just go a lot faster down to the ground, which will start the animation collecting the shine. So you'll see a lot of ground pounds into shines. And also, if you're like uncomfortable with doing runs for like saving or whatever, starting your own with a memory card and then just taking it out before you collect the first shine, it makes it so you can, if you are about to game over, something don't feel comfortable about the shine you're in, you can just put the memory card back in, save the game, and game over. And every time you collect a shine, it pulls up a save screen. And when you pull out the memory card, you just mash through it instead of having the menu. So a little bit of time saved there.
Indeed, how can one not be aware of what is going on? Though it is daytime in Delfino Plaza, our poor residents tremble beneath a veil of darkness.
Can you hear the game audio?
What?
Can you hear the game audio?
Have determined that this darkness has arisen.
It's really hard to hear everything with all the background noise, though.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Vanished from their gathering spot at the Shine Gate.
Okay, I guess like hi, I'm Fullaire. Since we have like time, I'm a speedrunner. This is my first game that I ever decided to start speedrunning, which was like about 2 years ago. But since then, I've like played like Super Mario 64, Pokemon Snap, Banjo-Kazooie, a lot of the older like Nintendo games, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, I'm Roboducky Assassin. I mean, I speedrun all kinds of games. This is definitely one of those games that I speedrun. And yeah, I'm here to help her out with some commentary. You guys learn some about Sunshine.
Hi, I'm Tim. I'm here because the seat looked comfy.
Amen to that.
This appears to be quite a predicament, Mario. Data analysis verifies that the island's inhabitants
So my current PB is a 1:29:38. So our estimated time is about 5 minutes slower than that. So let's hope for some good things. Good RNG.
There's definitely a few RNG shines in this. We'll get into that when we get there. But we're getting pretty close to the end of this cutscene here. It's the last one of the introduction cutscene, so we're just learning about the lore. Mario gets put in jail for some reason, and now he has to just clean up all Delfino, figure out what's going on.
Yeah, the judicial system in Delfino Isle really needs some work. So.
The perpetrator is likely at work even as we speak. And you, Mario, are being treated as a criminal. Tomorrow we must do our best to resolve this situation.
Alright.
Go straight to the point. You can't miss the message. Your first job is to get rid of all that outcome. And remember, we'll be watching you now. We'll know if you start locking off.
Yeah!
Woo! Alright, let's go.
So this first little bit of movement that you see her doing, it's just whenever you spray water up underneath or in front of Mario and then you dive, you can just slide onto the water, and it's the fastest kind of movement that you can do just on flat land. So you'll see her try to use that as much as she can, using either her hover nozzle or just the regular flood nozzle to just spray some water through. For now, we're just opening up Go. It's pretty simple stuff right here. She had to time those sprays just so that she would, make the glutathione plant waste more time not opening his mouth. So, as you just saw, Peach just got stolen by Shadow Mario, so she's going to get him as soon as she possibly can. Just a quick little roll out and spray in. Shadow Mario only gets, I guess, defeated by spraying him with water. Spam spray, hover nozzle, whatever you have. You just got to spray him enough, and then he'll fall down. And then she's going to go into Bianco, which is the first world. And she got early M. Awesome. Pretty sure that's 100% luck.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of timing.
A few frames that you can actually spray the paint as it's going on the statue to unlock the world just a little bit earlier.
Nice little few frames of time save there is always nice. And this is the first sequence break that we're going to see. So she entered the episode 1 of Bianco, but you can just go completely right past it and go right to the windmill where Bianco 2 is. The cutscene and everything is there, so she just has to get there. So she's gonna do some basic movement, go above the wall, and just head over to the windmill.
Wait. Not used to playing on a CRT,
input delay is a little bit different.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hopefully we'll get used to it a bit.
All right, nice. So those women wall kicks can be a little tricky. There's like some hitboxes that, especially towards like the middle of the windmill, where it's just you'll just walk right through it or fly right through it. So getting those wall kicks can be a little bit tricky, but she got that pretty good. So yeah, doing this just skips episode 1, and we're just doing the episode 2 shine, so we don't have to already do 1 shine, which is really nice. And this is just a very simple boss fight. Spray PD whenever it opens its mouth, and then wait for the little arrow to show up, and then ground pound him. Gotta do that 3 times, because 3 is the magic number in Nintendo. And spam spray is another really useful mechanic in this game. Whenever you're in the air and you hit this L or R and A, you'll spam spray, which is just spends a whole bunch of water out of the nozzle instead of just doing like a single spray of water. You just have a whole bunch of water, which can do really well for like damaging enemies or anything like that. And split.
So this level is the first secret level of the game. So there are a few levels in each world where Shadow Mario will actually take FLUDD away from you and make you do a special stage, which are actually a lot of fun once you get the hang of it.
Yeah, these stages are definitely like some of the most grinded IL stages or just practice stages if you want to warm up or anything. These are all really, really fun to do, and it just helps with getting your movement good because you can't rely on FLUDD to save. You just have to rely on your movement, all that fun stuff. So a little wall kick off this pole. And luckily, after you watch this cutscene the first time, you don't have to watch it again. You just smash through it, so that's always good.
Oh boy.
Woo.
Alright, let's try to get this one set back up.
There we go.
Yeah, you mess up one spin jump and it kind of ruins the rest.
Yeah, most, pretty sure all of them, but most of the secrets are on a cycle. And usually if you make a fairly minor mistake, you'll probably end up losing that first cycle. So it's very cycle based on these secrets. And right here, we're actually seeing our first cutscene in terms of after a stage. So from now on, there's most likely going to be a little cutscene showing off another stage that you can unlock in Delfino. The routing in this, in any percent, and they'll do it in every other category, is very dependable on these cutscenes because throughout the run, these cutscenes can like add up to like 30 seconds. So she's going to unlock Rico Harbor right here, but also enter Bianco at the same time. And it's a skip called Travel Skip. She's going to have enough time to spray the polluted profit at the last time, and then the entire time. All right, there we go. Awesome.
Oh my god.
That was a little close, but she did that really good. That was really that trick can be very tricky, and there's other instances of that, but that's definitely the most viable one for any percent. So she just skipped the entire cutscene of opening up Rico, which is really nice because it would also put her at the front of Rico, and she'd have to go back to Bianco. So that saved like a nice 15 seconds about, I think. So yes, just the routing of how many shines we do, because certain levels open up when you have a certain amount of shine. So Rico Harbor opens up when you have 3. Gelato opens up when you have 5. So we just routed out the shine count so that we watch the least amount of cutscenes after entering and exiting stages. pretty simple red coin shine here. Unlike Super Mario 64, where it's kind of like everything is, for the most part, everything is in just one episode or one star, and you can just kind of do whatever, whenever. This game is very much kind of like locks you into certain episodes. So like episode 1, let's just say episode 1 will have a lot less yellow coins than episode 4 will. Episode 4 is the only episode that will have red coins other than episode 8, which is a different red coin shine. So the episodes are definitely a lot different than they used to be in just previous Mario games.
So this is the first stage that has a significant amount of RNG by the pattern that Petey can take around the village.
I'm not too sure how like developed, I guess, the RNG manipulation is for this start, but I don't know anything about it. I don't think it's really a thing, but it could be. But for the most part, this is just RNG where PD goes in every single section, so it can be really nice and PD just goes into spot 1, 2, 3. Sometimes he can just go in complete opposite direction where you want him to go, and it just takes extra time. It's just all RNG where he goes, really. In like a task format, there's obviously some RNG manipulation, but they're not tasks, so. An interesting first spot. And then the other factor of RNG in this is PD will either sometimes throw a tornado and sometimes he won't. So right there he did, so it's a very minor time loss, it's whatever. Again, it's RNG, so it's not much you can really do anything about. Another factor of PD is if you are standing too, I guess, centered where PD is, it'll attack you instead of just opening its mouth, so you gotta stand a little bit towards the side of PD more than just in front of him. That was pretty good RNG.
Yeah,
placement.
Actually, not that bad.
And no tornado on the last one, nice. All skill. And again, number 3 is the magic number, so just take 3 hits and then she's gonna go right to where the shine spawns. Ground pound.
Somewhere here. So close.
So like I said, at 5 shines, Gelato Beach, the next level shows up, so we can now unlock Gelato Beach. And to make the routing a little bit better for the near, like, I guess, middle to end of the game, we're actually going to come back to Bianco later on in the run, and we're going to go into Gelato. And Gelato has the most, I guess, broken level in terms of we only have to do 2 shines in Gelato, despite having to do 6 in Bianco or 7 in most other levels. So we're about to see how that goes once she gets that open. There's also a little movement she just did right there. You can do it at some stages, not all of them, but she did a little bit of spraying and diving at the right time so that she can actually spawn like right in front of the M, just to save a little bit of frames. Did you want me to explain this during or after?
Go for it. Explain it now.
Alrighty,
Walk
so
to it.
So there's a very I can't think of the word, but you can clip into a lot of things using fruit in this game. And a player, he is not really a runner. He's a spiral runner. Same as Toval. This was a few years ago, so most people know about it. It's called Jello Beach Skip. So you can get this coconut, and as long as you have this perfect angle on the camera, and you place the coconut on the top right here, it'll push it down. And if you time the hover at the right time, you're able to clip into that hut and collect the shine. The reason that's really useful is that the shine in there is episode 8. And like we said before, we want to get to episode 7 as soon as possible. So doing episode 8 right here, and then we can go to any other shine after that, 1 through 8. So we'll just do episode 8, and then she'll go and do episode 7, and we're done with Gelato Beach. And it's a very, very nice time save. It completely revolutionized Super Mario Sunshine speedrunning for any percent, and I mean in any other category really, as long as it's allowed. It's a little tricky though.
Halfway clipping in, not pulling back enough.
You have to make sure you have...
Oh, I might have just messed up my ankle. Oh my goodness. It is not happening today. Oh no.
Woo!
Oh no. Oh no. That's not good.
Luckily the coconuts always respawn, so it's all good. But this is definitely not the easiest trick. You have to be very precise, and you can't go too fast, you can't go too slow when you're in that hut, because it's so thin, and then it's, you just have to make sure you clip into the actual glass, because you can get to around the glass, but you can also clip crack out of it, so it's definitely a little tricky. And there's a few different ways to set this up. This is one of the very many variations of it.
Oh, I think I just lost my coconut again. I should have played on the LCD. But, oh well, gotta deal with what we're given.
Another way that she's getting these coconuts is actually pretty efficient. Usually you can just spray them out of the tree and then they'll kind of go flying wherever. But if you climb up this tree, I'm pretty sure it happens with most fruit except for like banana, but if you climb up the tree, the coconut just clips up with you and you can just grab it. It's very efficient.
Okay, this is not good. Supposed to be a one and done type of trick.
All right, we got it.
Let's ignore that. That was first try.
That was first try. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Yeah. She's gonna get early cycle on Pianta 5.
Oh, no.
So yeah, as we're gonna see right here on this menu screen, we're at episode 8. So we just have to scroll over, do episode 7, then we're done with Gelato. Very, very nice time save. Even with the mistakes, it saves, I think, like about 10 to 11 minutes in this run. So super worth it. Pretty quick kill like that.
So most of the Shadow Mario levels have a 10 seconds that you can actually kill him before he starts going all over the entire world and it becomes absolutely ridiculous trying to kill him with the huge time loss usually.
Yeah, there's usually there's kind of like your basic kind of way of doing it, which is definitely a lot more efficient. Because if you mess up any of these Shadow Mario kills and you can't recover early, then it can definitely ruin your day. You can just kind of run around and just dodge you. But she did that very well. And then we're going to Pianta. It's the next closest level, and it's just we kind of just make like a nice circle around Delfino. That's the level. So yeah, we're just gonna go Pianta next. It's supposed to go here like one of the last stages, like the last 2 stages, but as long as you get that wall kick off that off the Shine Gate, you're actually able to get up here. So nice overlooked strat that we see here. And these puppies here, they have 2 different. Well, they all have like a different route that they can go. So far, so good.
I don't want to try to bring him over this way.
You just gotta spray the puppies so that they're on fire anymore. Get them into the water. And there's 3 of them, so. And the one that really matters where he is this last one, which is good RNG, so pretty good.
Oh, oops. Too fast.
There you go. And for whatever reason, once you get all 3 of the puppies into the water, you just pause and unpause, it just spawns the shine instantly. If she didn't do that, it would take a little bit longer to spawn that shine, so saves a little bit of time.
Well, pausing and trying to save doesn't save time, but.
Very true. This is going to be our first Piantissimo race.
These levels against Piantissimo are so hard. Do not sleep on these levels.
Yeah. Piantissimo is he's a sly little dog.
People have lost runs.
Yeah, definitely. Trying to show off or just being not careful enough. Kind of going autopilot can definitely ruin it here. It's just basically like Koopa Race, except in Koopa Race, actually, the faster you complete the race, the faster Koopa will finish it. But in any percent for this, or I guess any new game category, Piantissimo will run as fast as it's supposed to. So he said 30 seconds. He's going to take 30 seconds, no matter if she finishes it right now or in 10 more seconds. So just wait. And there is differences in versions. I believe PAL version's fastest for 80%. I might be wrong though. I'm not sure.
I thought Japanese was fastest.
That's probably true. It's one of the 2. Japanese and PAL version, they definitely have better text boxes for the most part than NTSC. So that's for the most part why. Japanese version is a little harder to run in general though. There's there's an episode specifically in Serena Beach, which we'll get to a lot later, but there's an episode in Serena Beach where goop that you have to clean off the beach is actually invisible, so you can't really see it's there, but it is there. So you just kind of have to spray somewhat aimlessly, but that's not the case in this version, so. Good save.
Oh my goodness. Well, I almost saved it.
Yeah, as long as you, she recovered it really well. It's just that bar is so thin. If you're in that fire and you hold neutral, you'll actually switch positions and you can kind of hold the position you want to go. So she held neutral and then held up, so that got her back onto the ledge. But again, that ledge is so thin, it's pretty easy to fall back off. But we're using a damage boost, so like we're gonna have iframes, which means invincibility frames, by getting hit by the wind, just to have enough so that we can get onto that first mushroom, or at least the bar of it. That was really good.
Alright.
That Gooby is another factor of RNG.
Oh.
Woo! All right.
We're just playing with fire here.
Literally. But that Gooby was actually a little bit RNG. That was good reaction time. But yeah, we just used some iframes to get over to here instead of having to go all the way around and spread and get the goop out of the way. 'Cause I actually don't really know the intended way of doing this shine, but
I'm pretty sure you have to go underneath the village and go through that entire maze underneath.
huh? I've never done that, so.
Yeah, and you can pop up somewhere close enough, I think, that you can like jump to this tower. I'm not entirely sure.
It doesn't matter because we're speedrunners. And we like to use invincibility frames to go through lava.
I mean, if they're going to give you invincibility frames, you might as well use them.
Of course. This is another pretty basic shine. This chain chomp is just kind of mad, kind of heated, I would say. And we just got to get him to the pool so he can chill out. And it's a little RNG depending on what direction he's facing. This is actually the best RNG that she got for this shine. It's like a few second variation between the 3 options. But this is definitely the fastest one, so that's good. You can just manipulate where the chain goes. Spray him off right here and then just drag him in. Pretty simple stuff. So this next shine that's coming up is another secret level, but getting to it is it's like a shine that's on itself. I see this level as like 2 different shines almost. There's so again, this is one of the last stages we're supposed to go to in the game. So for this shine, she's going to do a skip called Yoshi Skip. It's going to be entering the secret level without using Yoshi. And you can do that by just very precise hover timing, which we'll see here in a second. But you're supposed to get to the secret with Yoshi, and we're not going to do that. Because getting Yoshi involves having to finish episode 4 of Pinna Park.
That was a little early, maybe? No.
Yeah.
Happened. Timing is not on today.
Yeah, so that tree that she's running into, the collision on the tree isn't obviously correct fully, so she can just kind of run right into it, and then able to hover backwards into the to grab the ledge of the mushroom, and then she can either slide down and then hover back into the mushroom, I guess that's the mushroom, sure. And she can just clip right into the secret instead of having to spray the goop that's on top. And this would save, even if we had Yoshi right here, it would save a lot of time because we wouldn't have to go all the way to one side of Pianta, get a fruit, and then get Yoshi and then go all the way back down here, so.
That's questionable.
Yeah, oh, so close.
It's okay.
This is another pretty tricky skip here. Gelato Beach Skip and Yoshi Skip are two like the most known glitches, I guess, in terms of just the shines, and they're both tricky. Like whenever people learn the game, those like when I was learning the game, those were Gelato Beach Skip wasn't the thing when I learned the game, but Yoshi Skip was definitely scary.
Where am I going? Yikes, I think that, okay, that is actually my bag. Okay, we actually died. That, okay. I have no words for this gameplay right now. That's all I gotta say.
Hey, we still have two more lives. Two more. And we have a memory card.
We do.
So, everything is fine and dandy. And the reason that we're not leaving Pianta to go to Pinna to stop those cutscenes from Pinna Park, it'll just take a little bit too much time to go back into Pianta. So we're just gonna finish all Pianta right here and then go into Pinna Park. Because Pinna Park opens at 10 shines.
We're just gonna get a safety life right there.
There you go.
Oh, okay, Mario. You don't want to do that. Darn to get into the hunt. Okay. Hopefully we can regrab here. We are struggling.
Oh, so close. The reason she was ledge grabbing so fast, like at those first few attempts, was there's some ledges in this game where Mario just like automatically just fully re-grabs and just pulls himself back up. It's really weird. This game is definitely not perfect.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge for sure, especially trying to do a new no reset.
Oh yeah.
The nerves are really getting to me.
Well, we all here support you, right, guys?
We're gonna keep gathering lines. Okay.
Yeah.
That was questionable.
All right, so here's the beginning of the shine.
Right, now that we got through the actual hard part, this shine actually doesn't make a lot of sense. It's just talking to a bunch of guys that call themselves chucksters and just throw you places.
No. This is a very, it's you really don't need FLUDD for it. Everything except for this little platform right here is, you just can't really, well, I guess the one's at the beginning, but you really can't do any progress with FLUDD anyway, so you have to rely on these chucksters. And this last chuckster is on a cycle. It's possible to get early cycle where you don't have to wait for him to go all the way around, but that's still pretty difficult either way. So we're just gonna wait for him to get around here. It's also RNG if he stops or not. He stops, so he's being a little rude. All right, and right there she was doing a Y camera change, so he was going to throw her in the opposite direction of where she went, but when she did the Y camera change, it just throws her forward. For whatever sense that makes, I don't know. But threw her forward, so that's what she did there. That's why she was facing that direction, because she was just mashing the Y button, which can't change the camera. Nice little strat, saves some time on that cycle for sure. This is a unique shine to the run. There isn't really anything kind of like this. We're just going to have to basically dig these piantas out of the lava and then spray them clean. And we just got to do that in 3 minutes. So, pretty simple stuff. Also, the female piantas, you can basically instantly start spam spraying them or spraying them clean, but the male piantas actually like kind of do a little animation after coming out of the ground. So it's a little weird, but you'll do some like extra spraying of other piantas while you're waiting for them for the most part. So I should do that very specific spray so she can start spraying him sooner. That was a very nice spray. Did another specific spray to unlock that pianta while she was waiting for the animation to stop with him. All right. I'd say the hardest part about the shine is just making sure you don't clip through the bridge, because that's definitely happened to me a lot.
Yeah, that would not. I don't think it's ever happened to me yet, but
You're just like, you're feeling so good, you just got done with Pianta 6, you're almost done with Pianta, and then you just clip through the bridge and you die. It's not nice.
well, it's almost as bad as in the Bowser fight, sometimes you can just slip straight through the falling platforms
Oh
as
yeah.
well.
Yep. There's a lots of different kinds of variations of just clicking through things where you don't mean to.
Just don't jinx it. Come on.
Well, she's done with this right.
It happened to me last night, so
That was last time. That was now time.
now is now. Now is not going too great. We're making it work.
We're chugging along.
Yeah.
It's all good. Marathon strats. It's all good.
It's all RNG manipulation.
Exactly.
Of course. That's a pretty good Shadow Mario kill right there. Shadow Mario's have been good.
It's the only thing that's been kind of good. Just have to get through EYG, and I think we're kind of in the clear.
Oh boy. I think EYG is probably like the newest, I guess, bigger glitch in any percent as of date, I think. Which EYG is, it's going to be, we're able to skip one shine in Pinna Park, which is this episode we're about to do right here. It's a little precise, a little tricky, but it's a nice time save. And there's different variations of doing it. There's, we'll call it 3YG if you're doing it episode 3, 5YG if you're doing episode 5, variations like that. And I think you're doing 5YG, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's all pretty similar stuff. It's just a little different setup for the most part. You're able to skip this cutscene if you do a very, like, super precise movement out of bounds. If you just sidestep, well, you have to do like a whole bunch of like wall grabs and clipping into walls over by where this cutscene spawns. And if you die on the same frame as the cutscene starts, you'll just skip the cutscene and then you'll spawn right by Pinna. But it's very precise and not really worth it. If you mess it up, if you mess up the setup, it's not faster. So not really worth going for, especially if you're just not confident in it. And she's going to do 2 different pause buffer strats here. So we just skipped a cutscene, shorter of the 2, but we did skip a cutscene here by pausing right around the same time as the trigger, and as she slid into where the cutscene would be, it just canceled it out with exit stage, but didn't leave. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a weird thing where instead of like exiting the stage, it just exits the cutscene.
Yeah.
So.
And she just has to shoot Mecha Bowser 4 times. For some reason, it's not 3 times, 4 times. All right. And then she's going to, I use a visual cue whenever those Bowser parts that kind of fell off, and whenever they explode, you pause and then exit stage, and then it skips the next cutscene, so we don't have to watch both those cutscenes, so just get right to the shine. Nice, like, I want to say like 2.5 minute time save probably, something like that.
Yeah, the cutscenes I think add a few minutes.
Yeah.
So made the mistake of accidentally exiting too early one time.
Oh no. That'll make you leave the stage. This next level that she's going to be doing is another secret. Probably the easiest secret in the game.
Yeah, I think so. I would agree.
I'd say so. It's pretty easy. It's on a cycle, but very safe cycle. It's just a lot of rollouts, really. All right, first try.
That was nice.
so
First timing thing I got down.
Yeah, that was really good. So you're actually supposed to kill that cannon mole by throwing the bombs that he was throwing that first one at. You're supposed to 3 bombs at him, and then he'll die, and you have to watch a cutscene. Oh no!
No. Easiest. I think that was just karma.
If there's a place to die, it's right there. That triple jump is very precise. But you can just jump right into the cannon because the cannon's open when the mole's there, and he doesn't have a hitbox, so you can just jump right into it. So There you go. Just wait for that cycle. All right, let's try. Basically, the only way of really optimizing that secret itself is just kind of like spin jump diving as like early as you possibly can without falling through the platforms. Really, it's pretty simple stuff. So we're getting another red coin shine. This is going to be inside the park. So in this world, it kind of varies. There's going to be some shines that are outside the park, like what we just did in episode 2, and there's going to be some inside the park, like we are doing right now, episode 3, which also helps with why, I guess 5YG or 3YG. Early Yoshi Go Round is what it stands for. It's why that's viable. So she's going to be doing in episode 5. As long as you don't enter the trigger for entering the what's the word? The trigger for the I guess entering the park.
Yeah, like the loading zone.
Yeah, the loading zone. It just won't be there. So like if you were to do it on episode 2, the loading zone for the park does not exist. Because you're not even supposed to enter it, but you can clip into the wall and then kind of stand at the very beginning of the park, and then you're able to use the enemies, and you'll be as Yoshi. You'll see her do it. It's a little easier to kind of just watch than explain it without it happening right now. But just not having that loading zone makes it viable for why early Yoshi Go Round works in the first place. Because it's like everything's loaded in, it's just you can't access it. It'll just soft lock if you try to just walk right in. And this shine right here is where you would normally unlock Yoshi, so I'm not too sure why this shine in particular, but it's this one. And everyone's favorite sunflowers, you have to save them.
They could have used some better voice acting. Just let's leave it at that.
Yeah, for sure. But it's definitely quotable. They got that down. We just gotta ground pound these turtle enemies that never show up, I don't think, ever again. But that shot's a little tricky. It's ideal to get, obviously, ground pound all 5 of them in one go, so you don't have to keep watching this cutscene, because you'll have to watch this anyway. But obviously, if you just have to watch it in one go, it's faster. But they can just not work with you. They can hurt you, and you can actually like right there.
Okay.
The ground pound just didn't work. There's some instances where like if they're going to attack you, I guess, or do their kind of ground pound, you can just jump through them and just ground pound. It doesn't make much sense, but it's a thing. But we got there eventually.
I mean, it is possible to die in this level. I've seen it happen before.
And we did not. I like that.
You know, always optimistic. We just didn't die. It's really hard to die, but it's possible. Sometimes they can be real bullies.
I didn't also mention it, but early Yoshi Go Round skips episode 5 and then goes into the secret of episode 6, because episode 6 is a secret. So.
All right, let's hope for something good to happen.
I believe. Do you believe, Tim?
Tim doesn't know anything.
I cannot hear a word you're saying. I believe. I believe firmly. Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Fantastic. She has to unlock the Yoshi, and the fruits are hidden underneath the sand, so just has the knowledge to know where the fruit is in the sand, so she's going to get that fruit and get Yoshi. So she needs to be orange Yoshi in order to enter the secret. But she needs to have the ability of purple Yoshi. And what she just did there is a fruit storage. So she grabbed the fruit and then jumped off Yoshi and then got back onto Yoshi so that Yoshi didn't eat the fruit, but now that fruit is stored. So whenever she hits B again, that fruit is going to show up and she'll eat it. And that's very useful for later on. You'll see here in a second. All right.
Not there yet.
Perfect. All right.
All right, there's still, sometimes you can't actually end up soft locking while trying to get off this platform and onto the, like, merry-go-round, which is the only thing actually, like, loaded into this park that you can touch and not die on, which is a little weird.
It's so lucky that it worked. That was really good first try.
Belief, well placed.
Believe it. Believe it. It's just happened.
So, again, the reason that she didn't trigger the entering the park cutscene is that she clipped in through the side of it. And then the purple Yoshi, whenever it sprays an enemy, it'll make the green or the purple box appear, and then it moves horizontally. The other colors will move them vertically or just random or whatever. So she needed the purple to move horizontally to get to the merry-go-round, and then she needed to be orange in order to trigger the entering of the secret. So that went really well.
I can try not to die here because I only have 1 life left, and then if I have to redo this, then I have to redo the EYG skip as well.
There we go.
It's a little close on that jump.
I'm just going to skip some extra movement here just by doing some wall kicks. There we go. There we go.
There we go.
That's a clap. That's a clap. Woo! So we just did. We went from episode 4 to episode 6. So now we just got to do episode 7, which is Shadow Mario. So yeah, that's our. I think that's the last episode or instance where we can skip a shine. But yeah, that's why that's like definitely the newest shine skip that we've found, which is still kind of old, but. This pin of Shadow Mario is one of those more trolly ones if you don't get those spam sprays correctly, because he just does those triple jumps, and if you just don't get the spam sprays when he's on the ground, you're just not going to get him wet.
All right, now we're on to Rico Harbor, which we unlocked way back in the very beginning of the run. So.
And also, we're not going to... The cutscene is telling us to go and kill that Shadow Mario with the Yoshi egg. We're not going to right now. At this point, we're going to have an event cutscene anyway, so it's just not worth to go out of our way when we don't have to right now. We have other stuff we have to do that's more in our path, so that's why we're going to Rico right now. We're going to have an event cutscene anyway. So Rico Harbor is very known for its very quick movement. There's lots of a lot of the stages are super fun. This episode 1 is a very fun stage to kind of just do really fast. As you can see, she did that very fast just to get to this blooper tentacle.
Yeah, the game developers really liked this boss for some reason. They put it in this game like 3 different times.
That's true, yeah. 2 different levels, 3 different episodes. You just gotta spray the ink off its face and then just grab the mouth. And you can use audio cues, you can use some visual cues. since she's spraying, as she's grabbing the mouth, his eyes are already like crossed, which is what you would normally do. You would normally like see if the eyes are crossed, but since his eyes are already crossed and she was spraying it, she's using either a visual cue of him kind of jerking about, or just he'll make an extra noise when you're at the distance that you can let go. This is a pretty simple shine here. It's just going to be a blooper race. So there's 3 different color bloopers. They all have pretty similar, but also a little slightly different mechanics. Pretty sure the green one's like the most safe to go for. Just has to ride into the secret and then do the secret, which is just another blooper race. So
It is possible to save all of the bloopers in this episode, but I think I like writing the bloopers a lot better. It's fun.
it's barely a time save for using for doing blooper lists. You can enter the secret without blooper, and you can do this without blooper, but it's a very minimal time save. You still have to hit these. So this race goes by checkpoints, like most racing games do. So we're just gonna manipulate the cutscene triggers. So we're just gonna hit this cutscene that's right at that corner. We're gonna turn around, because there's not a cutscene at all after that section until right here, where we just hit another cutscene or a checkpoint, and then we just hit another checkpoint, turn that corner, and then we just hit the goal, and that's all you gotta do. Pretty simple stuff.
First place.
This next time, we're actually going to do a frame perfect trick. I hope you're ready for this, Fullaire.
I don't know. My timing has not been that great. Frame perfect does not really match with my timing.
I believe in you. I think you can do this frame perfect trick. You're supposed to have to go all the way up on these rafters and go all the way to the top and drop down. But if you do this very frame perfect trick, I can't stress enough how frame perfect this is. And she got it!
Barely. Almost messed that up.
Frame perfect, frame perfect.
Almost too early.
That's why it was frame perfect.
That actually was frame perfect.
Yeah. I wasn't lying. But yeah, you can just grab the bottom of that and just, for whatever reason, they allowed there to be a little turning grate, so you can just go right underneath it. Spin jumps are very useful in this run.
Yeah, I don't think that whenever I played this my first time, which was like yesterday, I had climbed all the way up to the very top.
Just thought you'd try it just for the.
I know. I saw someone do it, and I was like, oh my god, that's possible.
Yeah. This is another secret, by the way. This is another one of those more difficult secrets for sure. It's very cycle-based. All the platforms that she's standing on, except for like 2, are going to be cycle-based. So.
All right, here we go.
She tried doing a kind of like a momentum spin jump right there, using the momentum she had from rolling out to spin jump and dive onto that platform. But she's going to save here just in case.
Very much in case.
Yeah.
Because we are at 0 lives, which means if I die, we will be resetting.
And no reset, right?
I know.
That'd be atrocious. All right, that's definitely working. Yeah.
Sneakily pick up that life there.
And you're terrifying. This very big grate is just like super slow, so you can bonk on there, you'll still be fine, and we're good. All right.
All right.
And like she said, there is another, there's 2 more blooper fights. We aren't going to see the blooper on the last one, but we are going to see blooper here. Another blooper fight, only 4 episodes later. Which I guess it's similar to Bianco, but still.
Oh yeah, I didn't really think about that. Probably PD twice.
Yeah, there's only 2 PDs though. There's 3 bloopers. They ran out of stuff to do at the end of the game. So this shine is just get some, do some pretty good movement over to where this blooper is, which it's on like the little airplane landing thing, even though it's not the airstrip. It's here for some reason. So just gonna get to this platform and then do the. It's the same fight. You just have to pull his mouth a little bit farther than in the first episode.
And this is the only time where you only have to do something twice and not 3 times, which is
That is also true.
different.
Blooper is just a different kind of guy.
Oh, looks like he still has it.
You must find a way to fight it.
I think I did. I think I figured it out, Flood.
Flood likes to give
Helpful tips.
subpar helpful tips.
Like whenever you defeat the chain chomps in Pianta Village, she tells you to take better care of your pets.
Yeah.
So, I think PETA got a like little inserted in there. You know?
This next episode is going to be another red coin shine, but it's a little bit trickier than the other ones we've been doing because we're going to be on a blooper, and one of the other than being able to move fast in the water, if you hit a wall at I think you can hit it
at any speed, actually.
I think it's any speed other than neutral speed.
Right.
That might be a little incorrect depending on the platform, but for the most part, at any speed, if you hit a wall, you just die. You don't fall off and have to get back on, you just die. So she has to be a little careful to maneuver around these walls and jump over stuff. And there is a way to actually get off the blooper while bonking into something. As weird as that sounds, as we just said, bonking into anything will make you die. But if you bonk into a Pianta, there's a Pianta floating on like a little floaty near where episode 4 was, the secret was. If you bonk into the Pianta, you can just get off. It doesn't make any sense, but it works.
Uh-oh. Missed it. Circle back around.
This is like the hardest part of the shine right here.
Yeah, it's actually ridiculously
There
stupid.
we go. And then probably the easiest Shadow Mario is this
No,
one.
this is probably the hardest one. If you mess up.
Oh, yeah, if you do mess up. It's like the most punishing, Shadow Mario will say. The reason she didn't dive there, like obviously you can, but so Shadow Mario will start running when he senses you at a certain spot, and if you roll out and you just roll out too far, or like you lose control or something just because you have too much speed, and you don't start spraying him as soon as you can, you're most likely going to not be able to get that quick kill on him, and then once you don't get that quick kill, he'll just start jumping all over the place. And it's not, it doesn't end well, so.
Yeah, I've bonked into Shadow Mario one too many times to feel comfortable doing that dive roll out.
Yeah, it's definitely not worth it. It's like not even half a second time save to roll out there, so. So, yeah, so we're going back to Bianco since we wrapped all the way around Delfino. The last 3 stages now is just going to be Bianco, Serena, which is right behind Bianco, and Noki, which is right behind Serena. So pretty nice routing in terms of Delfino movement. This is just a secret, so we're going to get to the secret. And the water here hurts you, so we're going to try not to go into the water.
The secret is a rather long secret, so. But thankfully it has a few lives along the way, so if anything bad happens, it has it covered.
We have lives. These cubes, especially this one right here, it's pretty easy to fall off if you're not paying attention. This game's really weird mechanics in terms of like the tilts of certain just platforms in general. If she wanted to, she could like just roll out as it's turning, and she wouldn't fall off. She would just roll out onto the other side of the cube and just have a lot of momentum. Obviously, you wouldn't do that in this Shine, but you can just because of the weird mechanics that this game has. But we in there, like swimwear.
All right. We're almost done. We got 2 worlds left.
So what's your favorite level to take 2 speedruns of? Even if it's not 90% related, just like blue coins, whatever.
That's it. So in this game, there's just like something really cool, like called like Fully Rocket, where you can like do like sideways, like almost rocket nozzle, like blast. So instead of doing rocket storage, like you can actually like move forward, like with your momentum.
Oh, rocket rollouts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't do it, but it looks really cool.
Yeah, rocket rollouts are pretty cool, but it's not. Rocket's only used once 90%, and it's at the very end of the run, and we'll usually just do a rocket storage or just rocket up to the end. But rocket rollouts is like a nice horizontal movement that you can use with rockets with a precise rocket storage. Not storage, but you like get your rocket like about to go, and then you can roll out right before you're about to go up into the air, and then you can just get a lot of horizontal movement. It's really useful in like episodes that have rocket nozzle available, I guess. More so used in like 100% stuff like that. So yeah, she got that Shadow Mario with the Yoshi in it, and the Yoshi is always gonna want a banana. Unlike when she was doing EYG, Yoshi kind of has random whatever fruit it wants, and that Yoshi in Delfino is always gonna want a banana when you unlock him. So. Serena is definitely, in my opinion, like probably my least favorite level in 80%. There's a lot of like not super fun to play shines. This shine is very hard on your hands. You have to do a lot of spam spraying in the shine.
Yep.
And then there's another shine where you have to do a whole lot of spam spraying. And there's 2 secrets. And then there's a long RNG boss. So very interesting stage to say the least, but. And she stood on that hut to kind of manipulate where the Manta was going so she can get more damage dealt on these spam sprays. And as you can see, like the goop that they're leaving behind is actually electrocuting them, or her. So also want to try and avoid that as well. So there's a lot that can go wrong with this level. The Mantas can definitely troll you.
All right, I'm gonna go get some help. about health in this level, but the goop and RNG sometimes get to you.
Yeah, all the mantas leave goop behind, so.
It could be 1 up to.
Yeah, so they'll stay that kind of pastel-y pink color until you get them all to the small, the smallest version of the manta, and then they'll turn into this dark pink, and then they'll all hone in on you. So it's easier to kill them once they're all small. So that's part of the reason why she manipulated them to go in that direction, so she could just get more damage dealt, so that they would get smaller quicker. Very enticing cutscene of watching Hotel Delfino grow from the ground.
Okay, it's time for another secret level.
Yeah, the secret's probably one of the more trickier ones in the game. So there's going to be some sand blocks that we didn't actually see in the other ones, because the only other level I believe that has sand blocks is Gelato 1, and you obviously didn't do that. So the sand blocks can kind of eat your jumps if you jump at the wrong time. So if you kind of jump in between the other sand blocks, it'll just eat your jump and you'll just fall through. You also can't ledge grab sand blocks, and there's also just a whole bunch of other aspects to this secret that can go wrong, so it's a little tricky. You're supposed to kind of spam spray these boos and climb into the secret, but if you just wall kick up the totem pole, you can go into the secret. Better safe than sorry. Okay. Gonna wait on the cycle. There's a mechanic in this game, like I was talking about earlier, where you can roll out and on like a platform that's kind of angled, and you'll have a lot of momentum.
Oh no.
And that's an instance of one of those sand blocks just being trolls. If you try to ledge grab, it'll just shoot you down. You can't ledge grab it. It's super trolly. That's unfortunate. But if you if you try and roll out like on a ledge or any kind of angled platform, you'll have all the momentum that you had when rolling out, but with run speed. So you're running super, super fast. It's very difficult timing, especially because usually if you have that, you want to do like a spin jump. But it's a very particular spin jump because you have to still do the input for spin jump, and if you do the input incorrectly, you'll just lose all your momentum. It's very precise, very difficult strats that make levels like this a little harder, but faster if done correctly. But it's a very minor time save, so we're just going to play it safe here. There we go. First try.
That's due. I swear they put that guy there just to maybe sometimes just knock you off as soon as
just to
there.
scare you, yeah. And this this next shine we're about to do is another nice little clip. We're supposed to go into the hotel and do a whole bunch of hotel movement all over the place and try and get Yoshi. But you're able to clip behind this glass that we're about to see and skip all that. So it went from being like a 1.5, 2 minute shine to being like a 1 minute shine. So. So remember, kids, potassium. It's good for you. All right, first try. That was good.
All right.
Woo.
Yeah, fruit clipping is very useful in this game, for whatever reason. You can just, because for the most part, the fruit, like whenever you throw them or let them go, it just pushes you back. And whenever you get pushed back, the walls just don't have enough collision, I guess, to not make you clip. So you just clip. So this can be another secret. The easier one of the two. I personally like this secret. And we're actually going to avoid a bunch of RNG too for the secret. So you're supposed to do slots in order to enter the secret, which obviously is RNG. And then have to do a whole bunch of spraying like a big wall of cubes that have to match the same picture. And it's just a whole bunch of unnecessary things. But luckily, we're able to jump over it and clip behind it. So.
Get enough height off of that wall kick.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, perfect. Hole in one. Yeah, the only way to move on up there, so she went to sidestep. The only way to move up there is to do sidestep, or you'll just get pushed. So she sidestepped and then was able to just kind of fall through the behind of the curtain, which went really well, and this went really well.
Hands are sweating.
And this shine coming up here is another RNG shine, another boss shine with RNG in it. This has probably, it's definitely more RNG dependent than like PD or whatever. It's just King Boo. We got to go into the casino and then just do a fight, and we have to just hope we get the perfect cycle, which you'll never get two fruit cycles in a row. You want to get a fruit cycle, and then you'll get a pepper, throw the pepper at King Boo, and then throw a fruit at him, and that'll do damage to him. You do it 3 times. You'll never get fruit 3 times in a row or back to back. So the best cycle is to get fruit, no fruit, fruit, no fruit, fruit. And also, she's going to run right into the middle of this, of the, I guess, slots, or not really sure what it's called, but she's going to run right into the middle of it. And it's going to make King Boo come up a lot sooner than he normally would. So it speeds this up just a little bit. Oh, that's good RNG.
Yeah, we also knew that we were going to get a fruit cycle first, because whenever he pops up with the slots, if there's a question mark in the middle, that means that we're going to be getting fruit first, which is a good way to know if you want to cancel the cycle earlier.
And she also sprays up like that just so that he spawns sooner. And then usually, like, you can either go and kill those enemies or whatever, or just let them kind of stay around. But whenever she goes into the middle, King Boo will go back down, and it'll just cancel everything out, so it also ends those cycles a lot sooner. It's also RNG where the fruit goes, obviously. Like, in that first cycle, the pepper was right in front of her, and that cycle, they all kind of scattered.
Boo's been nice so far, so let's hope. No.
Aww.
Extra cycle.
So whenever there's an extra cycle, you're able to just instantly go down and just cancel out that cycle so you can try and get the next one to be what we need. There you go. Yeah, it's one extra cycle, not bad.
Like on average, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Ooh, coconut. Helping you out. All right, that went pretty well. I hope your arm is ready for this next shine.
Yeah, I think I'm ready. It's bad that you have 2 spam spray heavy levels in the world.
This is the other spam spray level that we were talking about earlier. She literally just has to get the goop off of Serena, and that's it. It's just a lot of spam spraying because the world isn't tiny, so it can just be strenuous.
And at least you only have to clean up 95% of it, and the USTC. Is that
Yeah.
what it is? Yeah.
You don't have to be like 100% clean it, but you have to clean the majority of it. Again, on Japanese version, the reason it's harder is because it'll show you that you sprayed goop and then it went away, but it actually didn't. It'll just be invisible and you won't know. So the Japanese version of this game, if you're running on it, you'll do a little bit different strats for the shine just to make sure that you got the goop off.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. 214. Another neat mechanic about this game is if you spray an NPC, it's not like super useful. It doesn't save like a whole bunch of time. But if you spray an NPC right before you're about to talk to them, their hitbox of you being able to talk to them is actually like bigger. So like if she were to spray the Pianta from a little further away, she'd actually still be able to talk to him for whatever reason. I don't know. Probably just extends its hitbox or whatever. But yeah, now we're about to be done with Serena. Just get this Shadow Mario done and go on to the last level of the run. Just like that, there you go. Also, whenever she did like a spray on the stairs and then was able to kind of like instantly dive, there's certain instances where it'll just eat the animation of him going up in the air and it'll just instantly dive, which can be pretty cool looking and helpful in certain situations. Shine, get Cool Cat.
All right, last world. Let's go. Almost there.
This definitely has a lot of it's very heavy movement based, skill based. It's difficult level. It's good level for the last bit of the run.
Should be significantly warmed up at this point.
So this shrine is actually on a cycle. So these like goop balls, I guess, that are just coming from the sky, it seems, are actually getting shot out that cannon, which we're going to, and they're on a cycle. So the faster you get to the cannon or this little platform right in front of it, the better the cycle you can get. So yeah. And unlike episode 2 of Pinna, where we can just jump into the cannon, we just have to beat the moles. We actually are gonna use these bombs and just 1, 2, 3, bam. So this next shine that we're about to go into is the third episode that has the blooper as the boss. But we're going to use an item to push us into the wall, and we're just going to be able to skip like the entirety of the fight and everything that we're supposed to do in this shine. So it's pretty cool shine. It's very fun and fast-paced.
Yeah, it's one of the easier clips to learn also.
For sure, yeah. So she's just going to do this movement up to the spring, which is going to be kind of near where we were at the beginning, right up there. Get that spring, and the spring's mechanic is you spray it to make it smaller, and once you place it down, it gets bigger. So when it gets bigger, it pushes Mario out of bounds here, and then we're just going to go right under where the fight is supposed to happen and where the shine is, because the shine doesn't spawn because of the boss, of defeating the boss. It just lets us be able to access the bottom. So since we can clip into the bottom, we don't do the boss fight. And this next episode is just going to be a red coin shine. Very chill, easy episode before a very difficult and annoying boss fight for episode 4.
It's almost like they set up this level to prepare you for how underwater mechanics are used.
There's like no way of actually like falling faster also for when you're underwater, at least in this situation when you have like the helmet on, for whatever reason, because if you're just regularly swimming, you're able to kind of swim downwards, but you're not when you have the helmet on for some reason. So just going to use some wide camera changes to be able to move more efficiently under the water instead of just kind of using the joystick, and get these coins. Also, whenever in the shine, whenever you like hit the ground, whenever you touch the ground as Mario, all the momentum that you're gaining from like all the falling and hovering from side to side to get the coins, you actually like instantly lose all your momentum when you touch the ground. So like theoretically, you want to just try and not touch the ground as much as you possibly can, which can get tricky towards the end of those last few coins, obviously, but it's not a big deal either way. It's just a weird, interesting mechanic that they decided to have in with that shine. And then we're gonna have some fun with this eel here, clean some teeth, be a dentist for a little bit.
It's Dr. Mario.
This boss is cycle-based. You can manipulate when the eel closes its mouth and stuff like that, and when it comes up and comes down. It's just very tricky. It's a pain to learn, and a control. It's tricky. So we're just gonna have this big fall little time here. And do you do like a visual cue with the bubbles?
Yeah, so I usually go for the second bubble that comes out of this like lower left eye, and then use the audio cue for whenever he starts growling to start covering up to start the cycle.
Cool. I'll be a little quiet here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try to focus.
Oh, that was
Right,
perfect.
that
good,
was
good job.
the best deal I have ever done in my entire life.
So what she was doing there was just kind of manipulating him to keep closing his mouth, because if he'll just go down if she doesn't if she isn't careful about how she goes about cleaning those teeth. So she was manipulating him to close his mouth, and then whenever he would open it to clean another tooth, and then continue to make him close his mouth. And then she went into the tooth on that last one so that she would take damage, because if you take damage or if you're in that animation at the same time as cleaning the last tooth, it'll skip the cutscene, which is a nice time save. So that went really well. And then we have a nice, easy, chill, relax shine to do.
I've actually lost a run to this level before.
What happened?
I thought I touched the flag at the very end, and apparently I didn't. So that was pretty funny.
We will make sure that you touch this flag. And Piantesimo will go whatever Speedy says in his talk here, so that's how you know. Yeah, she has a lot of time. She can do whatever she wants.
Yeah, I don't know why he decides to like go all the way around. Like it's not even straight lines that he's swimming in. Like you can just see him out there.
Also, shout outs to the year 2098. It's a pretty good year, I'd say.
Yeah, it's my year. It's gonna be my year.
So it seems like the way they set up this level is like two very fast-paced shines in the first two episodes. Episode 3 is very chill, pretty easy. Episode 4, very stressful. Episode 5, another pretty chill one, and then episode 6 is another really stressful secret. There's a lot of movement, a lot of stuff that can go wrong in this secret. So even the movement to the secret can be pretty tricky. So yeah, and then there's a Shadow Mario. So the emotions are all over the place with this shine. So she's just going to do some pretty basic movements just to get to the shell. That's where the secret is.
All right, last secret of the game.
It just keeps getting better and better.
Okay, I'm gonna play it safe here. Oh boy.
Woo!
My heart
That
left my
scared me.
chest for a second. That last rotating platform can really just cause some problems. It's at like a very awkward upward angle and can sometimes eat like any sort of spin jump dives that you're trying to do.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of just tricky sections in that secret. Yeah, so we're now going to enter the last shine of the run. It's going to be Shadow Mario Noki, and then we're going to go into Corona. This is another Shadow Mario which is pretty brutal if you don't get the quick kill.
Ooh, that's not good.
I jinxed it, I'm sorry.
Looks like we're gonna be on the chase. A
Whoa.
lot.
There we go.
Yeah, that's a really good example of how terrible chasing Shadow Mario around the world can really be.
And whenever he's in the air, like from a wall kick, or if he's just jumping, you actually can't do damage to him. So even if, or at least you can't like finish him off, I guess. So even if she had gotten like most of the damage done to him, and just need to get the kill, it wouldn't work unless he was like standing flat on the ground. So I'm just gonna do some basic movement over to Corona, and Corona's its own beast, honestly. A lot of stuff can go wrong with Corona.
A lot's already gone wrong in the run, so at this point,
but it's going good.
Anything can happen.
So basically, you don't want to touch anything. The spikes will kill you basically in one hit. The fire will kill you in one hit. Technically it's 3 hits, but you can't like react after you're getting hit by the fire or the spikes. So you just kind of want to make sure that you're careful and get the fire caught out and not land on the spikes. And then everyone's favorite speedboat.
Okay.
All right.
Spent the past month practicing that, so.
Speedboat's definitely tricky. The boat can be very trolly. All right, so what she's doing right here, she's doing a rocket storage. Changing the nozzle right when you're about to get shot up.
Okay, that didn't seem to store all of my rockets, so.
Sometimes it'll store not like the full momentum that you get going up, but she's basically just storing the rocket momentum upwards by changing the nozzle just like that. So she just stores it up a few times. You can store it like, storing it once will bring you up pretty high. 2 or 3 times you go super, super high up. So she did a few times just to make sure she got up to that trigger. Very useful strat. Super cool.
Yeah, so you go the entire run using the hover nozzle, and then at the last second, they're like, we're going to change it up, and you have to use the rocket nozzle for the final fight. So.
And we just have to ground pound all of these little circles that are on each end of the star, or the shine, and you can only get enough momentum to break it by using the rocket nozzle. So.
Yeah, so we're going to be ready for time on the last smash.
This fight can also troll you because like the goop can. Oh no! Oh the! Wow! What a save!
Oh no, not the goop! The goop can sometimes. Okay, we're just gonna have a little fun. Okay, I hate whenever he decides to also hit the platform because the goop really just has its own mind. We're just getting trolled, but we're there.
All right. And time.
We did it. We did it. But at what cost? Poor Flood. So.
Yeah, this ending cutscene's pretty sad.
Yeah. What the heck? A slow pump. Is that supposed to be like a mean joke?
It's the NoReset tradition.
Okay, well, thank you guys for watching. Sorry that it was not as clean as I was hoping, but You know, that's just how it goes, especially for your first marathon you've ever done with a challenging game. But I want to thank all of you for watching. Yeah.
Yeah.